Today, a warning about fake emails that look like they're coming from Apple, but they're not. How big tech companies are finding themselves in big trouble, and the warnings that especially women need to know about sexual predators disguised as ride-sharing drivers. All of that and more on your Tech News Today for Thursday, March 1st, brought to you by Outdoorsy, the first stop to make when planning your family vacation. You can rent an RV that fits all your needs. Just visit Outdoorsy.com. A couple of consumer alerts today. If you get an email from the Apple Store with information saying that you should sign up for a new monthly subscription or telling you that you already did, you should probably delete it. Scammers have come up with another new way to get your information using a realistic but fake Apple email. The email arrives showing that you bought something, and the price tag is usually outrageous. They hope that you'll see it, click to cancel the subscription. But instead of canceling, you'll be automatically taken to a new page where hackers will try and grab all of your Apple ID information along with your logon credentials. And of course, if you have information about debit or credit cards, they'll get that too. Apple has updated its website with new tips to help consumers protect themselves. Apple says that anything they actually send from their Apple apps, iTunes or iBooks store, or even Apple Music will always include your billing address. They will never ask you to provide things like a social security number, your mother's maiden name, or full credit card information because they already have it. So don't fall for that. Apple says if you think you're already a victim of this scam, first, change all your passwords. Do it right away. Then next, Apple's requesting that you forward any suspected emails to Report Phishing, that's Phishing, Report Phishing at apple.com. For decades, America's biggest tech companies and their CEOs, who've become celebrities in their own right, have literally basked in the warm glow of consumer trust and satisfaction. But those days of trust are long gone, and big tech is now in big trouble. If you think about all of the scandals caused by the biggest tech companies, think about all the hacking, the thefts of billions of files containing personal data, how social media allows live streams of murders, rapes, and riots, how Twitter allowed itself to be used as a literal fundraiser and propaganda machine for ISIS and other terrorist groups, how Facebook is up to its eyeballs with the Russian election meddling. And apologies from these companies? Well, forget it. Most of the time, these companies fall back blaming their own internal algorithms, as if that means anything to us. So now, for the first time, most Americans are saying that they want government regulation over big tech. Even political conservatives, who usually reject bigger government, believe that big tech is not operating in the best interest of America or the American people. This is a seismic shift in the public's perception of Silicon Valley. And the big tech leaders have only themselves and their arrogance to blame. If you're seriously looking for a job, you should know that LinkedIn has become a go-to place for job listings. But now, Facebook is trying to be a bigger force in the employment game. It's expanding its job search function to 40 countries. Job seekers in the United States and Canada have been able to search local job listings for the last year on Facebook, but it really hasn't caught on yet. Companies will have the ability to create job posts, schedule interviews, and set up open job alerts. Now, how much of a dent Facebook will put into LinkedIn remains to be seen, but with nearly 2 billion users, it's safe to say that Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg and his team may be able to do some serious damage to LinkedIn. Best advice if you are looking for a job, why not use both Facebook and LinkedIn? And now, a special word of caution, especially to women who use Uber and Lyft after going out to a restaurant or to a club or just because you may have had too much to drink. As they say, if you think you're too drunk to drive, then you probably are. But now we have news reports coming from Los Angeles that a number of women were trying to do the right thing, calling Uber and Lyft to pick them up after a night of partying. And it hasn't taken long for sexual predators to figure this out. According to the LA Times, police are seeing an increase in people posing as ride-sharing drivers. They really aren't. They pick up unsuspecting women who are trying to get home. They're by themselves, but instead of taking them home, they take them to an out-of-the-way place and sexually assault them. Now, here's how to protect yourself. The Uber and Lyft apps will always give you information on the driver. They'll tell you the driver's name. They'll even supply a picture of the driver, along with information about the car, what make and model it is, what color it is. All of this should prevent things like the story that we are telling you from happening. The problem is, if you've had too much to drink, or maybe even a lot to drink, and you may be tempted to get into the first vehicle that looks like an Uber or Lyft car that pulls up to your restaurant. Always check the license plate that the app gives you against the one on the car and verify the driver's identity before you get in. And finally today, news of the smart refrigerator. Because if there's one appliance that needs to be smarter, it's the fridge. Samsung this week showed off the smartest refrigerator yet. It's so smart that it can talk to you and respond to your commands. And it can also make recipe suggestions. It can track your diet, let you know if you need to go shopping, and even take pictures of itself inside, showing you that the shelves are growing empty. We'll call them shelfies. With a shelfie, you can get information on what's running low in your refrigerator, maybe pick it up on the way home without having to be there, and open the door and let the cool air out. We're still waiting for these new refrigerators to hit U.S. stores right now. You can only get them in the United Kingdom, and the cost is equivalent to about $5,000 US. Let's see how it sells in Great Britain. And that's your tech news today, and thanks again to our sponsor, Outdoorsy, the first stop to make when you're planning a road trip, Outdoorsy.com. You can rent an RV to fit the needs of any size family or group, and if you already have an RV, Outdoorsy will help you make money on it by renting it out when you're not using it, which is probably most of the time. Check out Outdoorsy.com today.